So next up we have Judy. And this is truly a story of resilience. What do you do when the new cool kids come on the block and everyone wants to use them? How do you get through it? Judy.
Thank you. Thank you, Zach. Thank you for having me, and I'm glad to be here. My name's Judy Swystun. I'm in the taxi cab business, and everybody in here has probably already heard about Uber and Lyft. So how did we face that challenge? That's what Zach wanted me to talk about. He also wanted me to say a few words about the fact that even after you've been in business for 25 or 30 years, you face challenges, there are hard times, and what do you do about that? And so a little bit about the Hampton Roads Transportation. We provide the dispatch, administration, and maintenance for 300 taxi cabs from Newport News to Virginia Beach. We have about 500 drivers and 80 people on staff. So we've been around for 60 some years. And so we've seen a lot of challenges through the years, although this one was quite unique. So what we did, I think one of the reasons that Zach asked me here today is because I gave him a Darwin quote about survival of the fittest. Well, Darwin then went back and revised that quote. And he said he did not mean fittest to mean those who are strongest or the most intelligent. What he meant by that was the people that can adapt, or those that can adapt. So that's what we have done through the years in the taxi industry, contrary to what you might think. I mean, we've gone through lots and lots of transitions through the years. So we're always adapting, but we always are adapting by using a core set of principles that we use. And those core set of principles, or some of them, are what I wanted to talk to you today about. Continuous improvement. You never, ever, ever want to stop. In every area of your business, you want to continually improve. So we saw the app technology coming forward about 2 to 3 years ago, and we saw it and we tried to get our software updated to be able to web order and app order. They couldn't do it. So we replaced all of our software. All of it went prior to Uber and Lyft ever coming here. So we already had our app in place before they ever started. So therefore, you want to continually improve, no matter if you have something. And I loved the old software. In fact, I liked it better than what I have now, except now I can do web ordering and app ordering. This new software is more technologically advanced, harder to learn. Takes me more time to train somebody to use it than in the old software. But it can do the new stuff, and I'm able to keep up with the times. So therefore, you want to always continually improve, even if you have something that's working for you. If you see the future shifting, you need to shift too. Good people. Good people. That's really, really, really the asset that you want. When Uber and Lyft threat came, all of our staff were like, what can we do to help? What can we do? They worked hard. They worked tirelessly to make it work. Good people. And also, Uber and Lyft, contrary to what you may believe, were after our drivers. They offered them $1,000 a pop to come over and drink the Kool-Aid. So they're after my people. So what did I do? I started a PR campaign with my own drivers to tell them, remind them, keep them settled down, because they were upset and concerned. How is this going to affect their ability to make a living? So what we did was we reminded them of the fact that month after month we were breaking records, with or without them. We still were breaking records. They were still doing as many jobs, if not more, than they were before. Then, when they were operating illegally here, we told them what we were doing. We were going to the city managers. We were going to the chiefs of police, and what we were doing and what they were saying and what they were trying to do in order to get them to stop operating illegally. And then I swore, never swear, but I swore I would never do a certain contract again because it's so accounting intense. but the drivers really liked it. So I went back and got that contract back. And the reason I got that contract back was not because of service before, it was because it was such an accounting nightmare. And I bought new software to try to deal with that accounting nightmare and went back, got that contract for the drivers. So that the drivers started thinking about, oh my gosh, we got this back. This is great. Look at all this. And these are the trips and things that they really liked in the first place. So I did it for them versus have, and still dealing with said accounting nightmare. So continuous improvement, good people, expert advice. We have always gone for expert advice in any field pretty much that we're in. But what I did with the expert advice is actually I started focus groups with new millennials, because the new millennial group seemed to be driving the bus, if you will, for the Uber and Lyft movement. So I sat down with a new millennial group, came down here actually and met with one of them here at Hatch. No, I'm sorry, it was up at Grow. Went down to Grow and met with a new millennial group, bought lunch, and just sat and listened and picked their brains and thought about it and got expert advice from the people that were seeming to want this service. So they gave me great tips on what we should do and where we should focus. One of the things they said is buy local. That's huge to the new millennial market. Buy local is something that resonates with them. The other thing we did was we shifted our marketing focus and we started supporting more Wine Fest and sponsoring Wine Fest and Beer Fest. That's something that we shifted. We started moving more into some different social media stuff. We also upgraded our website, and believe it or not, we changed our logo. They said that is old school, do not use that old logo. The one that we just thought was cool and modern, they said ditch it, and we did, and we went to this new logo. So those are just some of the things that they recommended to us that we do. So whatever you're working in, I mean, I also have a financial advisor, I also have attorneys and accountants, but when you're picking somebody, just a word to the wise, I hire attorneys, I don't hire law firms. So just because an attorney is great in one field in a law firm doesn't mean that every attorney in that law firm is good on whatever, because they have this person is good in HR and this person is good in real estate. I hire attorneys, not law firms. So anyway, so when you walk out though, when you have an expert, if your gut doesn't feel right, get rid of them and go find you somebody else. Your gut is probably right. That's what I do. You analyze the numbers and you measure the risk. You know, it's hard to change when all of our numbers, my monthly reports, all of my trends say you're doing great. So why do I change? Why do I shift? You know, I have to measure the risk and measure the reward of making a shift and a change. So we're still growing, our numbers are still good. So why should we shift and change? So for instance, we're re-looking at some of the things that were not high priority for us, but yet seem to be what the trend is going toward. So for instance, we're looking at owner-operator drivers again, which is sort of like franchising. So we're looking at that again because that seems to be a trend. And we're also looking at dispatching to competitor cab companies. All of it has a risk. The risk for us is it'll dilute our brand because our companies have a better brand than others. So it'll dilute our brand potentially to bring in other outsiders, if you will, into the fold. So they have to obviously meet our standard. But the reward, what's the reward? Is that you're able to have more people serving more people, so then you have more timely service potentially. And honestly, I think the timely service is going to win the day in this game of Uber, Lyft, and the taxis. It's not really about the 50 cent or the dollar difference in the fare. It's going to be who can be there the fastest, the best, blah, blah, blah. And then last but not least, in our core values that we have always kept and that we still do adapt and change to is the community and customer service. I mean, we're in the community, we've been in the community, we'll stay in the community. And we've always had certain things that we do, like defensive driving courses and late model cars, video cameras in all the cars, blah, blah, blah. But now we're looking at what can we do to enhance certain areas. And we think, for instance, driver training, we need to enhance that. It's been a while since we looked at it, we need to enhance it. And we know that there needs to be upgrades to our app. So what did we do about that? Well, we decided that we were going to go and form a user group with all the people around the country that were using the same software as we have. And we're taking that user group, and now we're prioritizing and telling the software company, these are the priorities, and this is what we want upgraded first. And this is what we want upgraded second. Because it makes sense that you have more to be able to pressure somebody with, rather than me tell them, and then Kansas City tell them, and then Houston tell them, and we're not coordinated. But as a group, we can coordinate and help prioritize what should they work on first, second, third, fourth. And then we have to continue to enhance the things that we offer that Uber and Lyft don't, like account work. We do lots of account work, even pick up homeless children and take to schools. And we are doing more of that. We're doing more on our time orders and wheelchair accessible taxi cab service. We brought that to the area, and we developed a grant to be able to expand that so that the disabled community can have more service at night and weekends. Because right now, in some of these wheelchair services out there, it costs $30 to put your toe in the vehicle. And then it's like $3 a mile to go past that. Now people have more ability to be able to go more often at a taxi cab rate. So the disabled community. So we're developing more of that kind of market. So, and also being in the community. We participate in all the parades. We want people to think about us. When all of this broke, honestly, I am in the community quite often. I serve on lots and lots of boards here locally. The Chamber of Commerce, Visit Norfolk, Norfolk Convention Visitors Bureau. I'm on the ODU school board. I'm at the State Rehab Council for the Blind board. Lots and lots of things, Hotel Motel Association. And one of the things I just wanted to say about was when this whole thing broke, I got so sick of talking about Uber and Lyft. Oh, Judy, what's happening with Uber and Lyft? Oh my gosh. So at one point I thought, I'm not going to another meeting and answer that question. And that would have been a mistake. You want to stay visible. No matter how difficult the questions, no matter how difficult the time is going out there, you want to keep yourself in front and educate and talk about, and you don't want to shy away from the challenge. You want to stay at the forefront. And the other thing, you know, I have had my good days and bad days about all of this. And on my bad days, it was not good, but on my good days, I decided one time that I am not going to let them steal my joy, because you can get so buried in thinking about the problem that you just let it suck all the energy that you have right out of you. So don't let whatever challenge you're having steal your joy. I made up my mind, if I ended up on the side of the road with a tin cup, it'd be me, my tin cup, and my joy. So, so don't let them, or your challenge, or whatever it is that you're facing, steal your joy. Start, you know, you have, I'm sure, good people around you that are going to want to help, which is it's a good thing. Let them help you. The continuous improvement, you always want to do that. You want to go after expert advice. You want to be able to run your companies by the numbers and measure the risks and the rewards. And you want to be in the community, and you want to be customer service focused. You want to make sure that you are satisfying the customer's needs. Somebody once told me, Judy, you should never be in business to make money. You should never be in business to make money. You should be in business to serve people. And so once you serve people, the money will come. So basically, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So have a few minutes for questions and how we've adapted and how we've met the challenge and are continuing to meet the challenge. Yes, sir.
How do you find your experts in general? Like, if it's service or if it's a friend, or like, how do you narrow down the expert that?
That's a good
gives
question.
You a good feeling that you were saying like that.
That's a good question. Generally, because I'm in these business groups like the Chamber or Hotel Motel, or I have other, friends, attorneys or whatever, and I'll say, hey, I need a really good real estate attorney, and they'll try to point me somebody in their office, and I'll say, well, who else is good in the, and I might interview them. When I had to go out, I was unhappy with my accident attorney. We go 1 million miles a month, so we have accidents. So I was unhappy with the way he was handling things, and I just started asking people, who would you recommend? Who would you recommend? And I got 3 recommendations. I went out and interviewed them all, and I picked the one that I felt was going to do the best job. And he's a sole person all by himself and no law firm whatsoever. So you never, just ask. And honestly, I would ask other business people if it's business related, like accounting or an attorney type of question. Our financial advisor, my father heard him 30 years ago at a seminar and went up to him afterwards and said, I'd like your card. So sometimes it's just going to these events that, like the Chamber or somebody puts on, you hear somebody you really like and you ask them for their card. Is that helpful? Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Oh, you're going to hate me.
I know I won't.
So you mentioned looking at the numbers to see if you're going to change, and then all the controversy with Uber and Lyft and stuff. I mean, did you really see your numbers change, or was it just the panic that everybody had from watching the media saying, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, or did you ever see it,
No, every month my numbers have been up. But what I have seen in certain markets, like I said, I'm from Newport News to Virginia Beach. In one market, I'm seeing the shift from the to the daytime numbers going up and the nighttime numbers going down.
Okay.
So I am watching that closely to see where that trend is going to take me.
Sure.
So it's not where, I'll actually tell you, it's Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach is, right now, February, March are the busiest months of the year for us. I mean, I could whatever, and still probably be doing well.
Right.
But it's when the off times, it was like in September, October, November, we were seeing that we were building in the day and losing at night. Now we've done some stuff to shift that around, and I'm interested once the busy season is over to see where we are.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, so we do watch that.
I have
Yes.
a question. I guess this might be a little bit out of your realm. I guess you guys are kind of a broker for the different cab companies, if I get it properly. But do you see a potential for moving forward, trying to, I guess, leverage alternate, more sustainable energy forms that might
We
take away
tried,
the future?
like the Prius type thing.
Right.
Yeah, we tried a Prius, and like in a month it got totaled, and we thought, oh man, we don't want to go this route because it's such, I don't know if it's because it was a small car or what, but we at that point sort of backed off. But yes, we've toyed with it, like propane. The only problem with propane is it takes up the entire trunk of the car. So now you don't have any room for luggage or baggages or things. So we've toyed with propane. We've toyed with the hybrids. They're expensive to buy, but they are, and if they get totaled, then you've got a lot of money gone. But yeah, because we buy all our vehicles out of cash at this point. Yes. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
So like an add-on comment to that, like if you can't buy them here, but I mean, I don't know what the budget's like, but if you got a Tesla or something like that, brought it up here and covered it with your new logo, that'd be a huge PR thing, I think, because people would notice that here.
Yeah.
How many Teslas do you see?
They have a lot of trunk space.
And a ton of truck space. And
With which one? I'm sorry. With the
with a
Tesla?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, North Carolina, we don't want.
Oh yeah. I've seen one.
Yeah, I don't see them around here, but I mean, they're cool. And people
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah, they're cool. They're a little pricey.
Yeah.
A little pricey. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love that Teslas. Yeah.
With the software that you use, and you said there are things that you desire more out of that software. And I've kind of taken notice of that on the App Store, but they more or less target different cities with the app. Are there problems with that? Is there a lag since it is kind of like this aggregated thing? You sometimes wish that you had something that was more targeted for what you do.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you?
Is the software point on?
Yeah.
That you use.
It's good. It could be better.
Okay.
And so we are, like I said, trying to put pressure on them to upgrade it. But once you have it, it's hard to put pressure on somebody that you already, you bought it from them.
Right.
So
Is it like a one-time fee for it?
No, I have
Just
to pay a
whatever
monthly
you pay,
fee.
upgrade fees,
Yeah.
stuff like that?
yeah, I pay a monthly fee on top of it. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So why is February and March your most?
It's cold. They do not want to wait and walk 5 blocks because it's freezing. That's also, I think the ships are here more, quite frankly. I also, people get income tax checks and they ride and go home to mama or whatever they do. They fly out of here. They go by whatever they ride. I had one lady, that lived in the projects, drove from here to Lynn Haven Mall, to Chesapeake Square Mall, to MacArthur Mall, and back home for $345. They ride. She went shopping. So it's a whole host of things like the battle group. Y'all probably don't follow it as much as we do. The battle group Roosevelt just left. So the battle group Roosevelt was here all February. Right now they're, I don't know, maybe one carrier in port. They're waiting on another carrier to come back. For us, it's kind of frightening living here in Norfolk. If we lose 25% of our ships like they're talking about in 2017, it's huge, huge. You can watch the hotels, you can watch the restaurants, you can watch cabs, you can watch a lot of things, have a lot of problems if that becomes reality. It's going to be really huge.
There's a carrier and 2 ships are supposed to be showing up here as addition. Some breaking news today.
Yeah, they're coming. They're on the way back. We watch. Yeah, we know. It's huge. I mean, it just is an influx. Think about it. If you sat on a ship for 6 months out to sea and you got into port and you were back and you could go home or you could go see your honey or whatever, you'd be off the ship. And, well, a lot of them do have cars, but they have to get to the car. Yeah. But it's very big, yes. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So when a ship is coming back in, do you kind of are you on the ready? Do you have
Oh, yeah.
cabs that are like kind of like lined up?
Oh, yeah.
There, so
Yeah.
before they call.
Yeah, so it's like a shot in the arm, and then, then it just kind of all levels back out. Yes, sir.
We all find, just the ways we like it done, and we get comfortable doing it that way. Because
Sure.
That's just how it's been done. When you realize, that it was time to change things, did you resist that at all, or
No,
no?
no, I don't think so. I mean, we've always improved. I mean, I think we're so far ahead of the curve for some places and other taxi companies and other cities. We already had an app. We already computerized dispatched. We already offered wheelchair accessible taxi cab service. We already were in the community. We already had a good reputation, blah, 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 blah. So we were so far ahead of the curve, and I think we've always changed, and nobody forced me to do wheelchair accessible taxi cab service. Other cities, other communities have forced cab companies to become accessible. Nobody forced us to do it. Nobody forced me to go out and spend the money I've spent on computerized dispatch and blah, blah, blah. Nobody forced me to change my software that was perfectly working great in order to do the app service and the web ordering. Nobody forced me to do that. So I think we are pretty adaptable to change. Like I said, continuous improvement has always been something we have always done. And yes, sir. You got another question?
I was just, do you ever think about growing bigger than what you are now? I mean, do you strive to grow, or do you strive to kind of flip?
It's an interesting mix, because I've always said two customers. I have the person, the riding public, but I also have the driver.
Yeah.
So we have done incremental growth through the years. We grow and we grow. I've not tried to exponentially grow, because then if I don't have enough business for the drivers, then they don't make a living, they don't rent my car, they don't rent my service, and what have I done but alienate the other customer that I have? So we have incrementally grown. Yes, through the years. I started here, I started with a cab company with 40 cars. I've been in the business for 35 years. I know I look like I started when I was 12, but yes.
You mostly have individual one cars.
Yes.
So have you ever thought of expanding to like the minibus service type?
I've done that actually.
And how does that work in this area?
Well, what I did was I bid on the contract and won the Handy Ride contract a few years ago and did the minibus service. So I'm very familiar with it. And it's a different business model than what I do. I actually have fleets of cars. So I have there are different cab companies with different fleets. So what we're looking at, though, is what you just said, we're re-looking at, is looking at doing owner-operators, letting them come in. An individual come in. We're looking at that again. We had shied away from it, but we're now looking at it again.
What is your PR campaign look like for your drivers? You said that you did something to kind of like keep them informed. What does that look like?
Well, we restarted a newsletter that we had stopped. We started posting notices. We always have been very PR oriented with our drivers. We do an annual picnic. We do an annual Christmas party. At the Christmas party, we actually have a raffle, and they come up and they pick numbers, and they take an envelope, and it might have $50 in it, $100, $20. We give turkeys out at Christmas. We bring ice cream trucks in. I mean, we've always done a lot of interacting. We have driver meetings, which are generally, quite frankly, very poor attended. And the reason, I think, is if they have a problem, they're going to be there. If they don't have any problems, they don't normally come. So, but we do offer them. We do have driver meetings. They can come. We have pretty much an open door policy also. So that's pretty much, I think, what we do with the PR. But we stepped it up because we started the newsletter and started posting more stuff. And we really needed to make sure they understood. And I have to say we lost one driver, which out of 500 is not too bad. Thank you.